progress.
Yes, already in progress.
But yeah,
They did make it. Anthropomorphic duck.
Stefan has this anthropomorphic mutant duck jersey on.
Disney Mighty Ducks jersey.
Is that official?
This?
Yeah. Is
No.
that some official Ducks merch?
No. The actual Ducks team never really used a jersey like this. They had the 90s Mighty Ducks animated TV show style jerseys, but
Okay, then...
this is the movie.
Oh, that's the movie Ducks?
Yeah. This is the Mighty Ducks from the movie. This is Conway, the coach.
I thought theirs was like the Ducks goalie mask thing, or is that the TV show?
No, that's in the later movies.
Oh.
And that's also from the animated TV series.
Wait, there's an earlier Ducks movie?
So
outside
this
of
is the first
Emilio Estevez
This
one?
is the first Emilio Estevez Mighty Ducks.
Okay.
This is where I got this jersey.
Okay.
So this is Emilio Estevez's
It's
actual.
like some SpongeBob freak looking at shit.
Yeah, it looks horrifying. Horrifying animals. Yeah. D5, District 5. And then in 2, I think they might have upgraded to the goalie mask look that had the coinciding animated anthropomorphic Wish We Were the Ninja Turtles Mighty Ducks TV series.
I think that was more playing off of the popularity of DuckTales. Oh, popularity at the time.
You think so?
Well, it was like around the same time.
I don't know about that. Because then they'd have like a Donald Duck style.
Dude, I can't even hear the mention of Donald Duck without thinking about some Kingdom Hearts 3 bullshit. From what I've heard, that game is just a gross clusterfuck. Like, there's too many cutscenes explaining stuff that you don't get to play through in any of the game, and just a lot of anime character noises going, "Duh, duh, duh." And then fucking Donald Duck can't understand him.
Love them, hate them. But that's how these guys would all sound. This is from the animated TV series.
Yeah, but they were like badasses, and they'd fought crime and played hockey.
Yeah, very 90s. There you go.
Oh, looks like the PNP ain't working for some reason. Wah wah.
All right. Anyway, they look like Duck Mutant Ninja Turtles in hockey gear. That was for the animated Disney show. Because Disney made the Ducks a team, basically.
Did they?
There
wasn't a Ducks before?
I don't think so.
Where's the Ducks from?
Anaheim. And they had one of the weirdest intro.
I suppose that makes sense.
They had one of the weirdest original intro guys. He looked like fucking Mr. Freeze. He's called like Mr. Ice or something. It was really bizarre. I'll have to send you the video sometime, and you'll just be like, "What the is this?"
This is going to be rough though, because we have to build the image in the listeners' minds today.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, they were originally founded in 1993 by Walt Disney Company as the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, based on the 1992 film.
Hey, we got some money to
Ducks.
waste.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so their original jersey was kind of like the one on the right. This is the updated one.
Was the Mighty Ducks movie really that hot shit? Was it really that big to justify starting a hockey franchise?
I don't know. I really don't know. As a kid, it was just like, oh yeah, Flying V. Goldberg sucks.
Behind every local band photograph, there's Gordon Bombay standing, telling them to get in the Flying V formation.
Flying V it up, boys.
Disney made, I think, a town. They like founded a town in Florida called Holiday. There was some.
How weird do you think their like little niche rules are for the homeowners association?
No shed. Epcot Center replica must be no bigger than 40 feet.
Just like bizarre color schemes. Everything has to be baby powder blue and white trim.
Yeah, and every sort of grass has to be AstroTurf and have this select hue of red that can't be in it. There's some sort of like formula that they have for the greens that are in the park.
What did you think it was called?
Holiday?
It's Celebration.
Celebration, yeah. Okay. That came about because I was listening to some very strange tale about some guy who claimed to be a time traveler and was just like
Celebration, Florida will be
leading a bunch of people on.
Celebration, Florida will be the birthplace of our Antichrist.
Now, he had to come back to get some sort of specific IBM computer from the year 1984.
Oh, yeah. There are actually a bunch of dudes at my work were clowning about this guy. Like, long ago, they were clowning about him. The guys from Steel Iron, actually. But, yeah, they were clowning about that guy quite a bit.
Yeah, he had like some girl that he was very close with as far as like internet talks, and was just probably putting this poor girl on forever and told her that there's a specific song if he ever comes back and it's this specific timeline, you'll know how to identify him. Because there was some just like crazy story that he had made up that you can't go past the year 2500 because of some sort of like interference because of atomic warfare, some shit like that.
What if it's all true, though?
Well, it's already not true because he said in 2004 the Olympics will stop taking place, and that hasn't happened. So,
Oh, bummer.
yeah, it was just like some crazy narrative, though.
But what was his key significance to Celebration, Florida?
I think he like claimed to stay with some people that lived there.
In the safe havens of Disney Corp's owned
It
territories?
was either that or the person that was some sort of like computer engineer, which made sense with the narrative because they were talking about some computer engineer that they suspect penned the whole story, and that's how he would have had knowledge about this like specific IBM computer and the components that it had, because it had something to do with the Y2K bug that was like in this computer that they made in that era that was immune to the Y2K bug with like the dates and all that shit reverting back to whatever date it was.
They just had to get that.
And then our toasters and our light switches and our
The Decepticon struck.
Man, that shit was so ridiculous. I was kind of disappointed, even as a kid. I was like, oh wait, it's not all over. God damn.
I remember getting together with my family, and they had some friends over because they'd always, when my parents were together, they always had like New Year's parties, and the kids would get sparkling wine while everyone else drank champagne or whatever, or sparkling juice or whatever.
It seems like a really good way to sneak booze as a kid.
Yeah, but you know, you're literally so young you can't even reach onto the island. But I just remember everyone was just like, "This is it. It was gonna happen, right?" Like none of them really bought into it, but
right.
they were kind of like egging the kids on or like pulling them a little bit, just like, "This is it. Everything's gonna stop right as this ball drops." Just like,
okay. Did fucking Dick Clark was the one that hosted the New Year's Eve thing. Did his face melt and reveal that he was a cyborg?
He's a fucking T-2000 or whatever, or T-1000.
Oh my god, I watched Terminator 2.
It's actually pretty good up until the end. The end is so bad.
I liked it way more as a kid, though. That's really, you got to watch that movie when you're little.
Yeah, I watched it a couple weeks ago. I still enjoyed it. The end was really corny, though. And
especially when fucking Guns N' Roses starts after. Wow, this was the song that they put at the end of this, huh? I thought this was going to be.
I could see people being in the theaters saying they fucking ruined it. They ruined it. The first one was so good, you know.
Right. Well, I
understand why you cry.
That was the most expensive and biggest blockbuster to that date. Yeah, right. No, at first it's just his hand, and then right at the end it's
Yeah, that was major corny.
They should have just left it at the first logical endpoint when the liquid metal guy freezes in liquid nitrogen. That was cool.
Yeah, that
Just, like,
was
starts
cool. But you
breaking
could see
apart.
that he was like gonna get heated back up and come back.
Well, it's a steel mill, so
Yeah, I know. They should have froze him and then just like tossed him right in there right away.
I remember watching something that explained why it wasn't like so violent. So Arnold Schwarzenegger was starting to like
I'm trying to do kindergarten cop.
I'm trying to do kids movies. Got to think about, when I can't jump around and do this shit anymore.
I got the movie Kindergarten Cop coming out.
So they made it like they built it into the script that he wasn't just this murderous robot anymore. Oh, he was, but the kid tells him not to
Resocialized
be.
him.
That's still just the best.
Kill people.
Can't go around shooting everybody.
Why?
Why? You just can't.
Why? That's a good movie though, man. The what's the computer chip company?
Cyberdyne.
Cyberdyne Industries shootout. That was pretty good.
Miles Dyson.
Yeah,
She's gonna blow him away.
that was pretty good. And then the epic chase on the highway.
Oh yeah, when Miles Dyson gets shot and he's just like breathing his last breath, he's like, it's fucking Adam Apple. I remember as a kid, just like what the fuck is that in his throat? Like the dude has the biggest Adam's apple and is just like gulping his last breaths down.
Outside of that, I don't remember him doing too much outside of Eureka, which was a good show.
I haven't seen him in anything. I don't even know who the fuck that is.
Miles Dyson?
I do
don't know
remember
his
as a
acting
kid,
name.
I was like, oh man, that RC car looks dope. Want one of those. I always just had one of the
Really, you weren't just like, I wish I was a liquid metal man?
no man, the RC car man. I never had like a good one that actually steered. It was always one of those ones
It just goes forward.
It goes forward, and the only way you can turn is when it backs up. They just have some sort of mechanism when it backs up, the wheels turn, and you
Yeah.
can only turn in one direction.
Yeah, I had one like that too. Very disappointing. Not being able to turn.
Thanks, Mom and Dad. They probably just didn't want to get into an endless cycle of having to buy batteries, because batteries back in the day sucked.
Because you needed them for everything.
And they didn't last at all.
Yeah, there used to be a time where you couldn't charge things. I mean, you could buy rechargeable batteries, but they'd only last for like 15 minutes.
I have a Sega Game Gear. Fucking, it takes like 6 AA batteries and lasts 4 hours.
Yep. It's the one that I think we had a Sonic and a 7-Up game for.
That thing was ahead of its time, though. Like, that thing had really good, I think it was 16-bit graphics. Full color. Not too terribly huge. I mean, by today's standards, like the screen ratio to body ratio is just like wickedly out of proportion, but
Yeah, screen to body.
way better than
the
Game
screen.
Boy.
The screen is like 1/16 the size
Yeah,
of the
it's
controller.
like it's like this big.
Yeah.
And the fucking thing is this big.
Yeah, it's a monster. That's something you conk somebody over the head with and just sandbag them.
I remember, like, when I found that thing, I was in someplace in Iowa. It's like just some really weird town when I was in the Beholder. And they had a, like, retro video game store. And somebody, like, went in there and came back and it's like, dude, they got a Game Gear in there. And I'm like, I'm fucking buying that. And then one of the other dudes is like, not if I get it first. And he fucking, like, slaps me and, like, punches me in the face to get a head start.
I'm gonna get that thing. How'd you beat him then?
Well, he was a heavy boy.
Oh,
So once I, like, shook off the punch, I just ran faster.
on, it was over. A foot race, eh? You'll lose.
Yeah, that was a bad purchase, though, because the batteries.
The batteries.
The batteries.
What kind of games did you get with it?
Echo the Dolphin? Like, it came with some cartridges.
Yeah.
I think Earthworm Jim was in there.
Nice.
God, I forget, though. I'll have to crack open the case. Probably doesn't even work anymore.
Probably left some batteries in there and then they just leaked.
Yeah. One of that happened to the remotes for the TVs that I use. So this thing's fucking remoteless. Is the P and P working yet? No. Oh. Dang.
Should I check what's up with the settings here? Or is it on?
No,
your...
it's nothing you can do about it.
There's nothing
Something
you can
about it just got knocked loose.
That's okay. We don't need to share images.
More shit weather this week.
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it had been.
For me, it was worse.
Really?
Yeah. Like the freeways was. I actually didn't go on the freeway. The roads in general are just like worse condition out here.
I just took off again. I've just been taking off. Like I told you before we started, I've just been taking off a lot. I just cannot. I can't handle it anymore. I can't handle the job I'm doing. It's time for something new. I actually spent a bunch of time looking at different things at work. Different options, schooling, different work, other places that do similar tasks. Because maybe it's honestly just the workplace I'm in, you know, that I hate that much. But when I wake up in the morning, it's just like,
existence is pain.
Yes. Yeah, and then I end up calling into work a ton. Yeah, it's not working.
I'm just waking up. This again.
Yeah, it's rough. And it's I think the only change that could be made is
New employment.
A change of scenery.
So, I don't want to bore people with work talk, though. What news story do we want to go to first? Because there are a ton. We're not going to get to all of them. We're going to have to pick the best. So before you came over, I kind of like refreshed my memory because they've been collecting for a couple of weeks now.
Oh, our news stories?
Yeah.
Got lots of news stories.
Is this the one that we want to, the man with the cougar? Because that was a pretty badass story. So a guy in Colorado decides he wants to he lives someplace else. I don't know where he lived before, but he moved there just to have a more outdoor lifestyle. And a fucking mountain lion attacks this guy.
But
and he
you know what happens?
Chokes it out.
Yeah, he watched a little bit of UFC. His comment to wrap up the whole incident, though, is I feel like I should go buy a bunch of lottery tickets.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And go broke.
Yeah.
Just give this man a fucking, UFC belt.
It's just got, the MGM Grand Tiger on there.
Is that where they hold those?
What? The MGM Grand?
I thought that was more of a boxing place, but they do UFC at the
I don't
MGM
know.
Grand?
I'm just picturing that on his belt.
Oh.
Just like the tiger. The lion.
But that's, crazy. I think they said that there's only, 20 documented cases of mountain lions ever attacking humans.
You're one of 20 cases where a guy beat the crap out of a mountain lion. Well, beat the crap or got attacked.
Yeah. I was amazed that the scuffle lasted for 10 minutes. He was just struggling with this thing.
Did he, one of 20 people who have beat up a mountain lion or one of 20 people who have actually been attacked? Oh. I was going to say, it seems a little high for the amount of people that have beat up mountain lions. Maybe it's not as bad, but yeah, where's that statistic? 20.
How many people have actually beat up the mountain lion?
Yeah.
How much bigger is just a regular lion than a mountain lion? I'm not really familiar with proportions, but
should we ask Google?
I don't want to know that bad. I just thought maybe you'd know.
I'm sure a mountain lion is smaller.
I'm sure too, because I feel like seeing one of those lions out in the savannah, one of those decides to fuck you up, you're a goner. But even those big cats don't generally attack humans too much.
Yeah, because they just don't have the
big cat. He looks up big cat.
That's not what I looked up, but that's what we got. You want to look up lions, or
I don't want to look up any of this stuff. I just wanted to know if you knew.
I'm not a big cat guy.
I love big cats, man. There's a difference when you look at wolves and stuff like that versus dogs, and then cats and bigger
Well,
cats.
we know you're a cat guy.
I like dogs. I just can't have them here. They're too noisy. I got cats because they're small.
That's true.
They're also more independent. So if I want to, go do something for a day, I don't have to fucking worry about my goddamn dog shitting himself and feeling like he's abandoned.
My dog does not do that.
Well, it will eventually.
Shit itself?
Yeah, because it has to shit outside. It doesn't have a dog litter box. Does she have a spot she'll go to, or she just take a fucking shit in your bed? She at least have the decency to not shit in your bed. She know not to shit in the bed.
No, she's never shit in the house once.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, you've been good about taking her out then.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you always have to go home. You got to let the dog out regularly. I'm going to worry about any of that shit.
Well, cougars compared to lions, a female cougar is
About 5'4", wrinkly skin, graying, dead teeth.
bad dye job. But a typical female weighs between females. I'm assuming it was a female attack because from what I know of big cats, females are usually the
females
hunters.
doing the hunter.
Yeah, is between 64 and 141 pounds. That seems pretty light.
Yeah. I mean, for a big fucking cat, though, with like jaws that'll just crush your neck, though.
Yeah.
But what about
the
a
Saharan
regular
lion female is usually about 200 to
Okay.
304 pounds. They're way bigger.
So the mountain lion's like a very large dog, and a Savannah lion is like Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
It's a goddamn horse.
How many pounds was the Savannah lion?
Like 200 to 300.
Okay.
The ones in Africa.
I got that.
The Indian ones are 200 to 304. They're they're easily like 100 more pounds than the cougars.
This is actually a great segue into a news story. I didn't even think of this, even though I just fucking read through both of them. A guy in Texas broke into what he thought was a vacant property to get stoned off a pot.
Oh, I remember this one, but there was
And he
what inside?
discovered a fucking tiger in a cage. And he called
It
311.
reminds me of The Hangover, where they go break into Mike Tyson's house and the tiger's there.
Dude, that shit's fucking wild, man. Like, he actually had those tigers. That guy's fucking crazy. But the stoner broke into this vacant property, found a fucking tiger, and called 311 and left an anonymous tip, and told them that we were like breaking into the place to just find a place to smoke some pot. And they found a lion, and they're like, "Is there actually a lion, or are you just under the influence of drugs?" So then they actually check out the tip,
And there's a real
definitely
lion
a real
I'm reading
a
about
tiger.
Yeah, a tiger.
Tiger.
I'm reading about its situation.
It looks
sounds like,
sad too.
yeah, but it sounds like it wasn't even in like from the article. The cops say that if it wanted to get out of the cage, it easily could have. It was
Yeah.
a rinky-dink contraption, and then they said the garage door itself was only held shut by like 2 straps and a screwdriver.
Yeah, just imagining somebody just like, well, lost the padlock and just stick a screwdriver through it.
My cat got out again.
What the fuck would a cat do in Texas, man? Just melt?
It would get hot. I imagine it would lose a lot of weight, but I imagine it would definitely go on a spree.
That cat did not look like it was, starving. It looked kind of big. There's a picture of it. There's a video.
I see the picture. There's no point in playing the video,
Yeah,
though.
I know that.
But yeah, I've seen the images here. Poor kitty.
I think I heard that there is more tigers in Texas than there are in the wild.
Somehow I believe that.
Yeah.
Soon there'll be more hippos in Pablo Escobar's little cut of Mexico than Africa, I'm sure, too. You've seen those stories lately?
What?
So Pablo Escobar imported like 2 hippos to his his place in Mexico.
Why?
Well, now
Because
they're
he could.
yeah, but now they're fucking like rabbits, and they're breeding, and there's no competition in Mexico that kills hippos. So there's like a small town in Mexico where they have had an explosive burst in hippo population, and the population of this town is pretty torn between, do we use Pablo Escobar's hippos as tourism, or do we start trying to get rid of these things somehow?
Here, lower this down so we can see your beautiful body.
Hey, kids.
Hippos, that's wild. I mean, yeah, I didn't know growing up that those things were so aggressive, but everybody knows that now. But there's a small town in Russia that's being overrun by polar bears.
I saw that too. Yeah. But the Russians aren't Russian. The comments I saw where Russia respects the fact that they're on the endangered species list.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're gonna do to get rid of them. Like, are they gonna corral them? Because it's a sizable amount of polar bears.
Well, it was something like 10. I think it was not so much that it was a sizable amount of polar bears, but the town that it was in was just kind of in the boonies.
More polar bears than people, basically.
Well, 10 though. It's enough that people were. It's enough polar bears, and they're hungry enough because there's no seals to sup upon, that they're starting to move south. And they're like rooting through garbage.
Yeah, there's some video that we're actually got going right now where they're literally just a couple polar bears walking through.
It's
walking through an apartment complex.
Yeah, it's like walking through a hallway and there's a stroller by the side of it. Oh, don't mind me. Oh, bother.
Yeah, population of 2,500 people in this small coastal Arctic coast Russian town. Reported more than 50 sightings. Up to 10 polar bears reportedly.
I don't even think this was a year ago, but there was something about polar bears fucking with some like Russian expedition that was like running out of supplies, and there was no way to get to their position for like months. It was like a science expedition, and they were just like camped out.
Did the bears eat them?
I don't know. It sounds like some The Thing type shit.
It looks like these polar bears have been in this town, and they're eating the garbage because they have no food.
Is that actually from the town, or is that just some picture, some random picture? That seems like a lot more than 10.
It's the same town. Novoya Zelema, at least according to this Peter Murtaugh guy.
Dude,
what does he know?
We had some bear problems and trash up north, man. That wasn't uncommon.
Yeah, that's one of the things when you're camping, you learn you need to store your food appropriately.
Yeah. Raise it up in a branch.
Yeah. Lock it up in the car or something.
Yeah, up north at the dump that you'd have to like physically bring your shit to the dump. And
yeah, I know how that goes. They do that with the cabin. It's like so disgusting because you have to drive quite a ways, and it's like a week's worth of garbage just chilling in the back of your car, and it smells.
And then you get there and it smells.
Yeah.
But that's where I got like my first Game Informer magazines. Or like, not Game Informer, but
Game
like
Informer
Nintendo
from
Power.
the dump. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it basically was. It wasn't like in the rest of the dump. It was in recycle bins. So while my dad would like stop and talk with Mr. Trashman, and
yeah, I'm gonna get some trash.
That's basically what this guy was. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. This guy was like fucking like a Rusty character. He had like overalls on, beer belly,
been working hard every day of my
Budweiser
life.
cap. He looked like a guy who worked at a dump. If you could like create a stereotype, dump in the boonies.
I wish we had peer-to-peer. I was going to type in guy who works at a dump.
So I would just ravage through the magazine recycling piles to find something new because I had like a stack of 6 of them. And I had like the same stack of 6 of them for like, I don't know, 3 years.
And you just combed through them constantly.
Constantly.
So what were some of the games and the ones that you got?
Oh, I have no idea. This is like the Jaguar console was popular.
Tekken 1 and shit.
Sega CD.
Did you get any demos, or did the guy keep the demos?
The people who bought the magazines
Got
and then
the
threw
demos
them away
still.
probably kept the demos. If there was any demos. I'm talking cartridge days, man. PlayStation was not a thing yet. That was another thing, like getting to go to Walmart. And like, oh man, I get to play Nintendo 64! Yeah! I remember when Fighting Force came out on PlayStation.
Just stay there all day.
Well, as long as my parents were there, but I remember just like there were some like older kids, maybe early 20s, and I was like 8, and I was just like standing there watching.
Nintendo, you stupid kid.
No, I was just like standing them watching them play, like just like talking a bunch of shit. Like you get to be like the hot chick, and you get to whip the shit out of people with like
In
pry
Fighting
bars
Force?
and stuff, and they're just like talking filthy, and I was like, I don't know what all these swears means. But
Then you got in
game
the
is
car and you
cool.
told Daddy, "I'm gonna smack you around with the crowbar."
But back to the dump and the bears. They had like electric fences up for the bears, and I remember one time my dad was telling me that just watching this dump character. It's like, I shit you not, the guy accidentally like. It's like he's gonna touch it. He touched it, and just like you just see like the fucking jolt go through him.
The dump guy?
Yeah,
He just does that to wake up.
yeah. It's like give daddy a little bit of juice. Don't have enough fucking meth.
Nope, they used it all in those up north states.
I had somebody at work casually tell me that someplace they were cleaning out somebody's old property, and there was like this cast iron boiler that probably was worth like a bunch in salvage. They just took it some junkyard, and they're like, they took it there, and the guy was just like, oh, scale's not working right now, and there's like, we don't care, we just want to get rid of it. He's like, oh, okay. And like the guy who was like dropping it off was just like clear view of this dude's meth pipe, just nonchalantly.
That's probably why I said the scale didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, quite the come up for him, probably.
Right.
Probably sold it for like pennies.
Yeah, it was just like,
bought it for pennies.
I was like, dude, well, he didn't pay them anything. They're just like, we don't care, we want to get it. And I'm like, you definitely just bought that man his next several fixes.
That's what I'm saying. The guy stole it, and then who he sold it to was probably like, these guys are strung up. I'll just say the scale doesn't work and buy it for a lot less than it's worth.
But we didn't buy it for shit. But yeah, up north sucks. Like, maybe if you can drive, it's a little bit better, but don't go up north.
I'm begging you, don't take your children to live up there.
Yeah.
That's what Doug's saying.
Yeah. I remember Steve was just like, dude, I want to bring my little girl up north and do this and that. And
So
I was
she can
just
be like she can be like a wild child, like Ein from Cowboy Bebop, who like can't even speak
the
real words.
Pharaoh child
Yeah.
from the Road Warrior.
Yeah, that one too. Yeah. Or the strange boy girl from Waterworld.
I have not seen that movie in fucking forever.
Me either, but I did see an article that they're re-releasing it with 40 minutes of extra content.
Why?
I don't know. Isn't the movie already like 4 hours long?
I don't know, but I know it was like really expensive to make, and it flopped. Like they're expecting it to be some crazy blockbuster.
It was going to be the water version of Mad Max.
Yeah,
It
but
wasn't
no.
that bad.
I mean, well, you love, shitty and sad things. You have an affinity for them. So you can't really trust you.
I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't sad. The guy had gills.
He was a mutant.
It was Kate Cost, right? Kevin Costner?
Yeah.
The gills.
Next.
Oh, here's the mountain lion story. It's actually another story that related to topics we were talking about. Let me find it real quick here.
You got too many open.
Right here. Man in Smokies died of meth overdose before being eaten by bear.
They're like, we're just going from thing to thing
From
here.
topic to topic. I mean, I think this...
To be honest, this is kind of a sad story.
Yeah, no, I think the story though is pretty self-explanatory by the title.
To be honest, I thought that, but then I read it and I was like, oh, this is like Harambe 2. So they find
Haram Bear too.
they find the bear, or the guy goes missing. They find the bear, and they tag it and release it, and they end up finding human DNA on it. So they decide, the bear has to be euthanized because they suspect that the bear killed the guy. When in reality, the guy and another friend had gone out into the world in search of ginseng. It was like a national park, something.
Need some ginseng for some tea, dog.
And the guy inadvertently killed himself in a meth overdose, and then the bear found his rotting corpse and ate him. It was just like, oh, free meal.
Yeah.
But when they found the bear, I don't know what prompted them to test it, and then they found human DNA on it. But they were like, oh, this bear must have murdered this guy, so we got to kill
Put it down, yeah.
Kill this bear that has the taste for man flesh.
This bear's out of control.
Yeah, this bear is just a menace. It's land jaws.
Yeah, so they put her down.
It takes them a couple days to track it down. And then they discover it's like, oh, well, he just killed himself. So they euthanized the bear for nothing.
He still had a taste for man flesh.
Maybe, yeah, I guess you're right.
So what? That guy's plan was we're going to have a nice weekend out. We're going to smoke some meth and gather some ginseng. And where was his friend at through all this? Some fucking buddy.
He was gathering ginseng to sell for more meth.
Oh. Well, where the fuck was his friend?
Apparently he died 2 months later.
His buddy did?
Yeah. It says at the end, the man he was with died in the following
How long
October.
ago? How long was his body out there?
I don't know.
So what's the moral of this story? Don't do meth.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
And ginseng, collecting ginseng probably isn't a good
Do drugs, be gay, do crime. But apparently it's illegal to lift that shit from a national park or anything like that. You can't go and forage. I don't know how they're really going to enforce that though.
Well, don't go out there with your truffle sniffing pigs.
What is a truffle, by the way?
It's like
Is it a fungus?
It's like a root.
From what I've heard, that's really overpowering. But it's like a delicacy.
It's a fruiting body of subterranean fungus. But yeah, it's underground, so the truffle pigs have to go sniff them out.
Truffle pigs.
That's what they use. I'm sure you've seen the documentaries about it.
Well, I wouldn't be giggling or kind of raising my eyebrow if I did.
So this is what a truffle will actually look like.
It looks terrible. It looks like
crop
hash.
Yeah, it looks
like fucking hash. Hash and shit.
It looks like cropolite. Fossilized poop. Truffle pigs. Here, I'll type that in.
You come up with a picture of Action Bronson fucking making some gourmet sandwich.
Here's some trained truffle pigs.
Oh, he's got a little saddle.
Yeah. There's the best ones in the world. Just kidding. It's a pig with rain boots. Sorry, you can't share in that delectable image.
Sam made a post this week about there's some animal adoption website, and he was like, guys, there are pigs up for adoption on this.
I'm going to go get one.
There are pages of them.
Well, that way he can get rid of the people he doesn't like effectively.
Can you train a pig to shit in a box?
I don't know.
And
probably.
Can you get a pig that's
pigs are supposed to be pretty smart
and cute?
Mini pigs? I've heard of mini pigs, but I don't know if it's really a thing. Do you want a little pig that shits in a box?
Yeah, if they had their independence. But no, if it's a whole thing, or you got to be responsible.
I don't want to have to be responsible. That's what you just said.
For another being, all right? I haven't had kids for a reason, Stefan. My kittens are my kids. Oh, I fucking hate people who say that too. It's so creepy when like my pet is my child. It's like, ugh.
I can get it with, I can like vaguely understand it with like dogs and cats, but when people say it with shit like fish, I'm just like, no.
Apparently puffer fish are very affectionate.
Yes, they love getting close to you. So, do we want to go into the Ass Man stories?
I don't know really how much we can extrapolate from that, but sure. Yeah, Saskatchewan, man. Not every day you get to go from Florida man to Saskatchewan, man. His name's like Osman, though. It's German.
But he's leaning into it.
Yeah.
Dave Assman, or Osman, is leaning into it. He likes it, and apparently...
He's basically just... He's just like, oh, it'll be appropriate because it's my name, and that's the way the city will see it. But they're like, no. This is Canada, okay?
You can't be having that on your license plate, okay?
That's impolite, okay?
So about that, you can't do that. So what does our boy do after like a long legal battle that the world was following on the edge of its seat?
He just gets an even bigger decal plastered across the ass of his truck.
Yeah, because he can't get the vanity plate.
So it's pronounced Osman, Ossmen, but it's spelled Assman.
Yeah.
That's pretty epic. He looks like an ass man.
Oh, is he the booty? Did I tell you that I watched the new Chips movie? They had a whole segment. They had a running joke in there that it's 2018, and
with Paul Rudd's sidekick.
No, he's in Chips with shit. I forgot the other guy's name.
Dax.
Yes. But the running joke to this movie is it's 2018 and eating ass is part of the standard package. With I forgot his name, it's Paul Rudd's sidekick, Luis Perez.
Yeah, I don't know his name. I like that guy though.
Yeah, he's
I like
funny.
both of them, so I might have to check that out.
It's too bad he's a Scientologist though.
Oh, scratch that.
Right, Luis Perez. That's not his name.
That's a feetball player.
Luis Guzman. So no, that's not the right.
Wrong, Lewis. Oh, I wish I could put the P in P. He calls up the fucking gay waiter from Waiting. Or the gay cook.
Yeah. Michael Pena. We're all over the place wrong.
What's this we? I just didn't even pretend to know his name.
Yeah, I'm just all over the place wrong. Yeah, he's a Scientologist. I was right.
Must be nice to be that rich.
Must be nice to be that lost.
It must be so nice. It must be nice to be so rich that you can worry about shit like fucking vaccinations and fucking like rich people problems like that. Like you got to be seriously well off to worry about that shit, I feel.
Scientology's bad, okay?
Yeah. Well, you don't want the Scientologists to come after you?
They have a lot of power.
You don't want the Avatar cult to come after you?
I honestly just picture, like, you remember neutrals from Futurama? They were just, like, gray, and they wore I just picture a bunch of neutrals coming after me.
They're not... No.
I mean... That's how I picture them looking. I don't picture them acting like that, but just like a bunch of bald people without eyebrows in long robes.
Picture an endless supply of Tom Cruise clones because they eventually get wise. And once they figure out that their existence is a lie, they have to put them down. And then they just release another Tom Cruise clone into the wild.
Yeah, how horrifying would that be? Scientologists promoting cloning and like brain swapping. They all just swap their brains into other Tom Cruise bodies.
No, they got Tom Cruise like set to a certain restore point. So that's when the clone starts. So once he becomes corrupted, they can't transfer the brain. They don't want his mental cognition from that point to continue to.
So what are the
evolve.
times?
So they have to dispatch a special team to hunt down and assassinate that Tom Cruise.
So
and
the
then put
first
another
one was
out.
what, the Oprah couch incident? And then the other one was the Nicole Kidman divorce?
I didn't know what a big like internet meme that was at the time when Tom Cruise did that. There was the Tom Cruise kills Oprah thing. And they basically...
It's a big deal.
Yeah, they basically turned that into like a You're the Man Now Dog website where he was like using Sith electricity to electrocute Oprah. I wasn't really internet savvy or really aware of the meme sphere when You're the Man Now Dog was like in its heyday.
That was a classic.
The Tom Cruise thing or the You're the Man Now Dog?
The Tom Cruise was a classic for like a year. It definitely had a long stretch.
That shit is so weird though.
Because back then, you know, memes actually had like a longer life cycle.
Yeah, but you know, things, they just start moving faster and faster. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's as we get older, time just seems shorter.
Nah. Well, I mean, in hindsight, things look like they've moved by past faster, but...
I don't even think we can really do this one because you have to see it. This guy basically just like...
my only question about this video that we can't watch is, does this guy have a fucking gun?
This guy, for the people who can't see, there's a guy... What's the restaurant?
I don't fucking know. It looks
Doesn't
like
matter.
Goddamn Qdoba.
Okay, yeah, it's no, Qdoba has those fancy touchscreen soda dispensers. This guy basically goes up to a soda fountain at some fast food restaurant.
Does, though. It only has one output nozzle that I see.
Oh, well, consider me wrong. This guy goes up, gets some ice, puts it in a cup, throws it on the floor, like looks around and just like fake slips on the ice.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like so egregiously bad, the fall tube, but they catch it all on security camera of him just like setting everything up, and it's terrible.
He looks like a guy that would go down to the gun range. Like, is this a gun? Holstered?
Is it going to be one of those like FBI dance off situations where he goes down and ends up shooting somebody?
I don't know. He has a overstuffed backpack, khaki pants, like cowboy boots, a black helmet, a black baseball cap. Oh, this is just...
He basically looks like some guy. Oh. He grabs onto the counter to ease himself onto the floor. Oh, he didn't even make like the fall look good.
No.
He looks like he just got done like hosting, like being an umpire for Pee Wee softball.
And shot one of the kids at the end. Like straight up his cell... I don't know if it's a cell phone holster or what, but it's so big. It looks like it's for a handgun.
Mm. Yeah, it really just does not do justice without the video, though.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's egregious.
Oh, I was reading over this, and it made like more sense afterwards.
The 21 Savage being British?
Yeah. Like, his parents came over here, and he like grew up here. But he was basically selling that he was like from Atlanta. So when I first heard of it, like, I'm not really in the loop.
You thought he like moved here? Yeah,
I thought he like more moved here as an adult, as a career.
I mean, that's how the story was framed.
Yeah, it almost seemed like that. But if you read this story that I had in here, he moved here with his parents, and like he's only like 26, and they ended up moving here in like 2003, 2005. So he was a minor when they moved here.
He's basically been here his whole life. So.
Yeah. But apparently ICE went after him because he has either a drug or a weapon charge. I'm not sure which. So generally, they don't really go after a lot of like the immigration cases unless you have a criminal record or you're a Mexican.
To sum it up bluntly,
Yeah.
if you're a Mexican, they're gonna get you.
Oh, how can we forget the national emergency has been declared for the wall funding? Did you hear about that?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, what a crock of
supposedly.
shit.
It's
Hopefully
just,
it gets tied up in the courts and shot down.
what's funny to me about it is there was some people like the other day bitching about it at work that they really actually think we should invest in a wall.
What, did Bob and Brian start talking about it on the radio and then
They
got them all fired up?
They have been, and it's like really disturbing. But no, it was like in a passing conversation, and I realized that many years ago, you remember there was a push to make a high speed rail between Madison and Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like the same people that thought that was a waste of money. It's just like, but you want to spend money on a fucking wall in Texas. You didn't want to spend money on a train attaching Milwaukee to Madison, but you want to build a wall in Texas.
Yeah. I bet they were fans of the fucking trolley. I have not seen that thing in action yet.
I have. It seems sparsely used. I wish. I'm all for making public transport more like obtainable, but it seems
That's stupid, though.
yeah, it doesn't.
It's not
seem
futuristic, like not just for the sake of being futuristic. Like, why put a static rail means of transportation in the middle of traffic? It seems archaic.
effective. Yeah, I wish they had instead invested in like a completely
And it's
electric bus or
Just
something.
downtown, right?
Yeah, I think it runs from almost the end of Brady Street to the third ward, like by Public Market and stuff.
Ooh.
I'd rather have them had invested in like an electronic bus, like a Tesla style bus.
I saw a Tesla today, actually. It was a Model 3, not so sharp. Still cool, though. Like, that's the one that they're touting. Like, this is the one that the average Joe can afford.
Yeah,
Looks like shit.
I want to see it now.
I mean, it's not that bad, but when you think of Tesla, like, it doesn't really look like the other Tesla Roadsters.
Oh, it just looks like a fucking typical.
When you're behind it, it doesn't look that hot.
yeah, it just
See, they're
looks
trying
like
to make it look all sexy in these photographs.
No, it just looks like a fucking Civic or some shit.
Yeah, Tesla's catfishing people, man.
Well, I would have rather had them invest in something like electric buses than just a static rail.
Yeah,
Every time I see it, there's only like 3 people on it.
it's because it's not really that useful. Like, honestly, how much shit is there to go? How much shit is there really to, like, transport between, like, Brady Street and the 3rd Ward? Is it really that much of a residential area between those two places?
The 5 people that can afford an apartment in the 3rd ward.
Yeah.
I'd almost say there's probably more people going down to that side of Brady to the Brady apartments over there.
This, I had fucking no idea what the fuck that was about. Did you read that Fuck Jerry story? Have you heard anything about them? Kind of ties into the whole Fire Festival thing.
Because that's all anyone's talking about at work.
Fuck
Did you
Jerry?
watch the Fire Festival
Oh, yeah.
documentary? And then a couple people are like, did you watch the like one that you also need to watch, the Hulu documentary, where they expose that the Fire Festival documentary is made by the marketing company that also is just as responsible?
Right. It's not only that, though. They're like egregiously stealing jokes and content for their advertising empire, basically. But those who don't know what Fuck Jerry is, it's like Jerry Media Group is the parent company. And they basically steal comedians' jokes and content, and like memes and shit. And like they turn it into memes with an advertisement on it. The story that I had up on here was actually written by your boy Vic Berger, the guy who does all those fucking great video edits of like that post-apocalyptic church selling the fucking survival buckets.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Vic Berger makes those. Who the fuck?
I don't know. A special guest?
Amazon probably. Keep talking about fuck Jerry.
Sorry, yeah, we're having a slight hiccup. But fuck Jerry. Yeah, basically they're stealing jokes on his Instagram. And you're gonna notice that a couple of comedians have actually jumped on the bandwagon of
like
fuck
Oswalt.
Jerry. Yeah, Patton Oswalt and
who else was on that
John
list?
Mulaney, Colin Hanks.
I don't know how I feel about John Mulaney.
I don't care about any comedian. But
You take that back about Patton Oswalt, right?
But
Patton Oswalt is a golden shining star.
But they're all jumping on it, on the fuck Jerry movement, and then you got
Well, Comedy Central itself was the first major media company to basically like lop off any deals that they have with them, any advertisements. And they have since actually like made a statement saying that they're going to stop using Look at Wish Army. We won't do it anymore.
What?
They didn't even say that they're not going to do it. They basically said, if we don't know who the person who made the content is, we're not going to post it without their permission. And then
fuck Jerry?
Yeah. And then they say nothing about whether or not they're going to pay the person or not.
Fascinating. But the other thing is fuck Jerry's caught up in this lawsuit for Fire Festival as well.
Yeah. It's like $100 million or something like that.
Because they were the marketing agency for it. What a mess. But the real question is, have you seen that Ja Rule is doing Fire Festival 2?
I don't think he's calling it Fire Festival 2, though. Everyone's joking that it's going to be Fire Festival 2,
But he's trying to basically relaunch, because the original app was to let Joe Schmo Schmuck Hands basically take an app.
Schmuck Hands. From my understanding, schmuck is like the excess foreskin from a circumcision. And I'm just thinking of like gross schmuck hands. Like,
yeah, well, he's got
just like
sausage fingers.
Old man, like just pudgy, loose skin hands that's like draping over itself.
But
you have fucking foreskin fingers.
Yeah, they're droopy. But Joe Schmuck Hands can take his favorite artists, which would be Kesha, Katy Perry, and Taylor Swift, and then
who gives a fuck about any of those?
Joe Schmuck Hands. You're not following the line here. But he could then...
I am. I'm playing devil's advocate, you fuckface.
He could go to the app, hit all three of them, and then pay whatever their exorbitant whatever their fee is.
You're talking about the Cameo thing. It's like that. It's some play on words.
That was the point of Firefest, the Fire app. That's what they wanted to do with it. But Ja Rule is trying to launch basically that app again. I
saw Norm Macdonald doing a parody of that today. He was basically like, it's Norm here, and I'm here on the Cameo app, and I will say anything. I'll take anybody to task. I'll say anything you want. Like, I have a serrated razor blade held to my throat. But yeah, basically they're just trying to like do like these little like cash grab things where you can pay the celebrity that you want to say like some shit, like a Fiverr thing.
Get your ringtone ready, because Terry Crews is going to say, I'm going to get you.
No, Terry Crews ain't going to sell out on that thing. Is Terry Crews on that shit?
Cameo? I don't know.
He can't be. I don't know if that's what the app is actually called, but...
I'm talking about the Fire Festival and then the...
Yeah, it's...
Or the app Fire. That's what it was called.
It's not called that anymore, though, because the brand's been tarnished.
Yeah, they're trying to relaunch it.
And if it is, it's stupid.
They're trying to relaunch it.
But honestly, that some people are saying they felt bad for Ja Rule and the whole thing. And if you watch the documentary, it was like seemed pretty complicit in it.
Yeah, I believe there was a comment made where somebody said that what they're doing is fraudulent. And he said maybe it's false advertising, but it's not fraudulent. And it's just like,
I don't know about that one, Job.
Sorry, John.
But still, it's just like, how about, that's another thing. I don't feel that bad for the people who paid into it, because if you're paying like
I feel like
that amount of money to go have some fucking like Pablo Escobar extravagant celebrity weekend.
I mean,
how about not?
You're not really like getting an itinerary or anything either, and you must have not done much research.
It was crazy when people were getting to their like little villas that they were supposed to stay in. They were like, "Oh my God, this is a disaster." It was like, you have obviously like never even camped in your life.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. Like, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. Like, people were making it sound like they were like as bad off as refugees. And it's like, you are minorly inconvenienced for a little bit. Just rough it a little bit, man.
The real fault was, I don't think there was any music, right? No artist showed up, right?
No, man, that guy from Blink-182 put a hex on it with his witch powers.
I remember that. Tom DeLonge flew over the top in his UFO and zapped anybody that tried to...
Tom DeLonge came to the rescue. Saved people with his anti-mask guns.
His UFO community membership.
Oh, but yeah, the way that fuck Jerry thing was framed was the way Vic Berger put it was pretty good, because he was talking about it how like you see politicians and people doing fraudulent stuff like this, and it's in the media all the time, and then this kind of stuff seems so tame, it just kind of skirts by. But it's like a major problem, especially on the like new frontiers of social media. You even I have assholes in my fucking feed where I know exactly what stand-up comic they stole their joke from, but it's just like, Todd Fuckface posting some stand-up comics joke like it's his own status that he thought of. And it's like, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're getting fraudulent, fake internet points off of the sweat of somebody else's brow.
For shame.
But in this case, with Fuck Jerry, those internet points are not really like fake internet points.
It's money.
Yeah, it's money. They're charging somewhere from like 25 to 75 grand for single posts.
That's because they're influencers. Maybe if those comedians knew how to use their Instagram accounts.
I saw this great, I think it was Hard Times title. It was children who view YouTube at a young age have higher chance of wanting to become influencers.
That's what people want. That's what the kids want these days. They don't want to be...
I really like these things that are coming out where people are like fucking with them, though. Like that Payless Shoes thing. They like
That's funny.
Yeah, they held like some glamorous event.
I forgot what they called it.
It was something that was like literally like pay less was almost
just
in
like
the name.
an accent on it or something.
Yeah, and umlaut or two.
Yeah. Pay loose.
Yeah, they charged influencers they were like, oh, you can have access to this exclusive fashion.
It's fucking Skechers.
Yeah.
Trying to get the fake store name here.
CNN Business.
Yeah, if they'd pay $400, $500 for these sneakers,
and they paid the money back.
Pelasi.
That's like you're not even fucking trying.
Yeah.
But still, at the end of the story, they're like, well, we gave the money back, but it's like, why? Why?
I just
donate it to charity or
wouldn't
something.
you realize that you're buying fucking Skechers? You know, like, don't you? Did they take they probably
Not really. Some of these shoes, they don't really look that different from some of like the designer shit. It's just like the whole glitz. It's like Supreme clothing, you know?
Supreme clothing is just a ripoff.
Yeah. So is a lot of that fucking designer shit, man.
I buy my shit from China now. $20.
Is that where you got that?
Yep.
Did it come with oh man.
It came with plastic wristbands, like Armstrong wristbands.
Was there a fucking secret message to send help stitched in it?
And then I bought some Amazon brand pants too. I bought this a long time ago. The Amazon brand pants were actually really nice. It was $20 per pair.
Like, are they actually like Amazon Choice or whatever?
They're just called Good Threads. It's Amazon's clothing brand. $20. I got 3 pairs of pants for the price of one.
How they
I went to
fit?
Kohl's. Great. They have weird sizes too. I was able to buy my 35, 32.
I suppose. I mean, I should really try that nowadays. That the whole like return game has really caught up. So you can just return anything for any reason.
Yeah. I don't like it. And then they say, okay, here's your money.
Yeah.
And if they don't, you call again, and then the next guy says, okay.
I had something that I ordered on Amazon, and granted, they probably have this poor woman locked in a cage with like a video camera on her and like a terrorist pointing a gun at her head, forcing her to read the script. But the customer service call was so good. I had a problem with my bank on a transaction, and she was like, I can hold while you call your bank and
Most
sort
of those
this
people
shit
do
out.
it from their home, supposedly.
Oh. And then I'm on the phone with my bank for like 10 minutes. I come back. They're still on the fucking line.
Yeah, she's just drinking her coffee and eating her ice cream for breakfast.
Bonbons. And then she calls me back at the end of the day to make sure that everything went through okay.
Yeah, I've had a great time with Amazon's customer service.
But like I said, I guess it's not so bad if you're just working from home.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they work from home. I could be wrong. Amazon employees, let us know in the comments below.
Do you work in a cave in Afghanistan, or do you work at home? Yeah, let us know in the comments below. JJ, get some insight in here.
Yeah.
Actually, you can't, because they're gonna just keep tabs on them. They're like, Did you say this about the company?
Then we'll get black bagged.
Oh shit.
Jeff Bezos.
Speaking of black bagging,
Bezos
man,
is gonna strike us.
did you hear about I was like gonna go into one thing, but then you said Bezos, the magic word. Did you hear about him and the dong pics that are apparently out there?
Yeah, that's
He's
part
trying
of
to get
what
blackmailed.
That's part of what this other story I linked was. There was a number of celebrities who were saying that the government was the ones getting these pictures off of their devices.
Would you like a seltzer?
I'm okay. They were saying that they were under the impression that the government was getting these illicit pictures off their devices.
I didn't hear that part of it, but I did hear that it was suspected that the government was blackmailing him.
Yep.
Like, was at the end of it, which doesn't surprise me because fucking Trump hates Bezos.
And guess what?
Because he's richer than me.
Yeah, and guess what? They can use all the surveillance technology to do that to people that they don't like. Now, it seemed a bit far-fetched, and it turns out that as the story closed in, because we didn't do one last week, and it only took about a week for them to get to the bottom of this story, it went from the government blackmailing him to actually his current well, she's not his mistress anymore because they are divorced, him and his wife.
Well,
it's his new super hot smoking his new smoking hot supermodel wife's agent, which happens to be her brother, got them off her phone and sent them to the Inquirer to blackmail him.
Just imagine him on his fucking Snapchat group. He's like, you guys want to see a picture of Bezos' pecker? It looks exactly like his bald head. It's like a little him down there. Do you imagine that? Bezos is actually just his pecker driving the body, and his pecker looks exactly like him, like fucking lazy eye and all.
Just picturing the veiny enlarged head that he has in South Park.
Now, for that kind of blackmail thing, that just seems like the wrong guy to try and do it to.
I mean, National Enquirer, probably pretty desperate. But the real question is, why would anyone even buy a copy of National Enquirer when they have the most like audacious and unrealistic headlines? Like, no one would think it's real,
man.
No one would think it's real.
Yahoo News, Yahoo Answers, man. People love that shit. Fucking monkey boy born from celibate nuns. Love that shit.
Kid found in cave. Yeah. I don't understand why anyone would think that shit is real.
Man, but
that would have been my stance. My stance would have been like, that's not my wang.
That's the thing, though. People, we can't have nice things, and that stuff gets its clout because there is. I'm assuming that kind of stuff, like, you know, started from like the pro wrestling side of things, where it's like, you know, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here's a little bit of fun, and then, you know, people are like, oh yeah. You know, you start saying something, like you start saying bro ironically, and then eventually you turn into a person
Chad,
who says bro,
and then next thing you know, you're Chad.
Yeah. Like, I have no doubt that that's probably how that kind of like hopped on. You know, the people maybe started enjoying it, and then there were people that were like, that is real.
Bad boy, that's funny. Next thing you know, I am Bad Boy.
Next thing you know, Tom DeLonge has a bunch of, like, has kids at the rate of a frog and its tadpoles, and then they're just out in the wild. Could you imagine that fucking tabloid cover? Tom DeLonge gives birth to
tadpoles.
1,000 Tom DeLonge tadpoles.
I can see that.
Would that be considered a lizard person? He'd be an
amphibian
man.
He is a reptilian.
Is the amphibian reptilian?
What if that was the twist? He was the alien the whole time.
Yeah. What if he...
Is he a Scientologist?
What if he isn't... I don't think he's... Well, I don't know. Is Tom DeLonge rich enough
to be a Scientologist?
I hope.
An effective Scientologist. You don't have to be rich, but you have to be you have to be rich to be an effective Scientologist.
Yeah, because you have.
He could be some low-level plebeian who just thinks Xenu is all he needs in his life.
Whenever somebody starts actually talking about what Scientologists believe, I just fucking lose it. It's like, you must purify yourself of thetans. Oh my god.
Well, don't forget the blockbuster movie Battlefield Earth.
I like that. I didn't think that movie was that bad.
That's about Scientology.
No way. The one with... It just has John Travolta in it.
Yeah, that's a Scientology movie,
no
bro.
No way.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't that good, but if you can, like, get into
You're like,
it...
there was no Xenu.
But Battlefield Earth film, are you...
Travolta, a Scientologist, had sought for years to make a film of the novel by Hubbard.
What?
This is a Scientology movie.
I did not know that.
Doug's world is being turned upside down. Yeah, that's why other people are like, this is so bad. The film follows a rebellion against the alien Cyclos, who have ruled Earth for 1,000 years. Yeah.
And it makes even more sense because Travolta was in, I'm going to play the villain phase after I made my money being a good guy. I'm going to be a bad guy.
So the question is, does this change your opinion about Battlefield Earth?
I mean, I thought it was bad, but not as bad as everybody said. I thought it was, like, at least interesting. Kind of had some... okay, it was fucking a mess, but
won like every Razzie. Won every Razzie I think is possible. Yeah, worst screenplay, worst picture, worst director, worst supporting actor, worst actor.
Travolta.
Forrest Whitaker was in it.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker was like one of the Klingons.
Is he a Scientologist too?
Have you come here to kill me?
Now I'm just like, are all these people Scientologists who was in it?
I remember going over Sam's house once, and he has just his head, a picture
Forrest
of
Whitaker?
Forrest Whitaker's head on his wall, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And he's like, that is Forrest Whitaker.
Just likes Forrest. Oh, man. So, yeah, Battlefield Earth, though, Scientology.
Blew my fucking mind, man. I'm gonna have to watch that with a new perspective. And I haven't watched it since I was an early teenager, so maybe I'm wrong. I mean, yeah, it's probably been a good 17 years since I've seen that movie.
Well, it's definitely, for one, it's not going to age well. It's going to look really bad.
I don't know, some of those like 90s sci-fi flicks aged pretty good.
This was like early 2000s, though.
Oh, well, even better.
I'll tell you I know it's not going to age well. Jupiter Ascending. That movie was so bad.
I'm just gonna skip that one.
Come on, just give it a chance to see Chatman Tatum with blonde dyed eyebrows.
Catman Tatum. Scatman Tatum.
That would be great.
Why don't they do a 23 Jump Street? I'd go see that.
I just want to look at what he looks like in this movie.
You didn't tell me he had Spock ears. What the fuck?
It's creepy. Yeah, it's creepy.
All right, I can't just like stare at pictures and laugh at them without anybody else being able to see them with no context.
Too, yeah.
Oh, goddamn.
Spock ears, dyed hair. It looks really bad. It's a bad movie.
So what next? Cosby or Kelly?
Fuck Kelly. He had his time. And the best part is, it's literally just it's just exactly the same as the bullshit that happened
the first
decades ago.
But on this one, in reading, so for those who don't know, we're jumping.
Kelly is a pedophile.
Yeah, but another sex tape that supposedly is him having sex with a 14-year-old has surfaced.
Take two, because he peed on one back in the day,
and
which everyone conveniently forgot.
And has been brought to, I think, Cook County's district attorney. And it was kind of funny when I read the article today fully, but I just like kind of grab articles and throw them for reading through later. But I read the first paragraph of the article, and it sounds really bad the way they phrased it. Because if you look at there, it says, CNN has seen the VHS tape that appears to show Kelly having sex with a girl who refers to her body parts as 14 years old. That just sounds bad the way it's phrased. It's like...
These are my chicken legs. Yeah. They're 14 years old.
Oh, no. Even though it's like evidence for a news story or evidence in a crime, it's still like somebody at CNN has watched this, so technically they've watched child pornography.
Well, I mean, there are people in this world that they have to sniff through all that disgusting stuff.
Doesn't it seem kind of like a gray area? Like, if you're doing it for that, like, you're still looking at it. And you can get persecuted for, like...
But what about all the people that's like their job? They have to sift through like reported content and stuff. We've covered this before. Like, it's not a glamorous job. You probably
forgot.
You probably get PTSD.
Ugh.
Can you imagine that? Like, that's your job. You have to sift through reported content, and then you go home and you say,
look your wife in the eye.
Yeah. Be dead inside like Agent Riggs.
Ugh. Like Agent Mulder. You're just covered in peanut shells at the end of the day.
But yeah, so Bill Cosby. Fuck R. Kelly. He's a freak. Fuck Bill Cosby. Saying this shit. I just couldn't even believe this.
Yeah,
Is this real? Is this real life?
So apparently Cosby has himself like a pretty sweet little Al Capone cell. You know, he gets up at 3:30 in the morning to exercise, and you know, has a nice meal. Like, it's not exactly like a...
He gets his egg white omelets and shit.
Yeah, it's not exactly like a general population prison that he's in.
And he walks around and he goes, Scooby-Doo-Doo-Doo.
And he has other inmates that
Theo,
hate
where
him.
are you?
But
Boo-doo-boo-doo-boo.
he's compared himself to political prisoners like Martin Luther King and Gandhi. Who else?
Mandela.
Mandela.
Probably. Yeah.
And he has been reported to have absolutely no remorse because he feels he is innocent and that he has done nothing wrong. Even though in court he has admitted to drugging and raping a woman.
Yeah, but remember he flew off the handle at court too? He was just like, "Ah!"
In the where was that? I remember seeing him doing the hey 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 while he was like in a post court
I do remember that. I remember that too, because we talked about it for a little bit. Just like, oh, this is what he thinks the people still want from him.
But
I'm just kidding.
he is reportedly he has a spin doctor who is hired
The most racist and sexist trial in the history of the United States.
to help recover his public image so he can make his comeback after this whole legal thing is blown over. He's going to be in prison for 3 to 10 years.
That's pretty light.
Yeah, but still, I don't think he's going to last that long. You know what I mean?
God, it's just ridiculous how, like... It's just ridiculous how these motherfuckers get some money and then they go to prison for fucking, like, no time at all when this would you'd watch an average Joe just go rot for the rest of their life for some shit like
for
this.
like 2 lives.
Yeah. This motherfucker gets 3 to 10 years. You got to be fucking kidding me.
Before he went into jail, he tried like lightening the blow of his public image and like started making stand-up comedy appearances.
I was gonna say, what, did he sit on a whoopee cushion in the fucking courtroom?
Better check my Depends room with better jello pudding.
Yeah. Fucking.
But apparently he says he's developing a TV show idea.
In prison.
Prison.
I'm a persecuted man. Theo, get in here.
He really thinks he has a shot at redemption after this, man. It's like, nah, man. You're done, man.
I don't know, man. America could suck it up again because they're disgusting animals.
I could see Louis C.K. making a comeback, but not Cosby.
What if they team up?
Cosby.
America's
Cosby
like
and
this
CK.
fucking nasty person that goes into a goddamn 7-Eleven and they try to use the slushy or the pre-made malt ice cream machine and it falls on the ground and then they try to scoop it back up into the icy cup.
That is a fucking beautiful metaphor. I don't think I've ever heard you say something so elegant, Stefan.
And then God.
And then they bring it to the counter and
they're already slurping it up and the cashier isn't going to say anything.
they don't have any money to pay for it, and the cashier's just like, just take it. Just take it.
And then they squeeze through the automatic doors, and there's an audible, like, flapping pop noise.
And they suck all of the syrup out of it until it is just the husk of flavorless ice left over. Until it's just a little bit of flavor with the melt that eventually comes. And even though it tastes like shit, you just keep on sucking and sucking until
I wish we had a
left.
straw sucking noise right now. Just like...
Yeah, until you get to that bubbling empty end. And then you feel on the inside just as empty as that cup.
Yeah. Yeah, they walk outside and they see a little girl who's flopped her ice cream cone onto the asphalt and she's licking it up off the street.
And then you just scoop it up and eat it yourself.
Gravel husks and pieces on all. That's America. I don't know how the fuck we got there. But yeah, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly. They're both disgusting.
And just, like, the thing of it is, like, it's been known for a very long time with the
R. Kelly one for sure.
Well, the Cosby one, people have known, they just didn't say anything. Like, if you were in the circle of people, like, it was very well known that Bill Cosby was a creep. It's just nobody really said anything about it.
I guess that's why I wouldn't have known that. I didn't hang out with Bill Cosby on weekends. I passed on that to do other activities.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that conversation, just like sitting at the coffee table, just like, yeah, Bill likes roofing people and raping them.
Well, there was like cases of like newer actresses coming into the fold, and Bill Cosby
and Bill licking his lips at him. Yeah.
Bill, actresses who had been around him for a while.
Hang on, Bill Cosby.
Would inform like some of them to stay away from Bill. So it was like known amongst that group.
Oh, like Weinstein. People said that too, but you couldn't really get away from him.
Oh my God, dude! I thought of Weinstein earlier because I saw a picture of Activision CEO. That situation in itself is kind of disgusting. How basically the chief financial officer was already in the company, and he basically got rewarded like a $15 million signing bonus just to change his job title, basically. And then they laid off 800 people. And then they reported that they had their best year ever.
Yep.
Blizzard is basically destroyed at this point.
Yeah, and it's not the first time they've done that. They did that in the past too.
Yeah, they did it in 2012, but like they still had some of like the founding members involved in it. Granted, a lot of these people that were fired were like customer service. Actually, what happened in 2012, I read about this. They basically fired a bunch of people and then rehired them as for less and for less hours, so they didn't have to give them any benefits.
Yep. Which is still trashy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Blizzard is not doing so good.
Activision Blizzard, I mean, they're doing great.
But from a...
Ethically, not so much, but they just reported like their best year ever.
Yeah, I know. We just said that. But they're not doing well in the PR side. Public relations.
I mean, I think they're probably getting to the point where, with Blizzard at least, they're probably just going to squeeze whatever is left of the rind and then toss it.
Totally.
Either that, or it's just going to become something that is nothing like what it was in the past, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, end of an era is where I'm going with that. I mean, you do have a phone, don't you?
Yes.
Good, then you can play Diablo Immortal.
Oh, dude, I can't wait till if they fucking make the Pet Battle Pokemon Go ripoff.
Activision Blizzard presents
World of Warcraft
Go.
Pet Battles.
Yeah, World of Warcraft Go.
That actually be pretty dope. Did Pokemon Go just did not catch my attention?
Apparently it's pretty good now.
Yeah, I heard that they added like actual like battles and stuff like that, and that was just the thing. I was like, well, that's what Pokemon is. It's turn-based battles. It's like turn-based strategy. How can you have a Pokemon game without
the battles?
The Pokemon game.
I mean, they did have the battles, but they weren't turn-based and they were weird. And it was only the gym system. You couldn't just duel your friend who was sitting next to you. That was the problem.
Yep. But now apparently you can. I still don't want to play it, though.
Maybe we'll have to bust out the old team. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.
I got better things to do, like play Apex Legends.
I'm fucking sick of that game already.
Well, that's what happens with you. And you texted me all fucking heartbroken. You're like, oh, you didn't tell me you were starting to play that, guys. Because I fucking knew that you'd be like, this game's dumb in no time.
It has a very short lifespan for... It has a very short lifespan for, like, it's very repetitious.
Well, yeah, it's a fucking battle royale first-person shooter. What more do you want, Stefan?
A
you
little,
want
a little bit of diversity in gameplay.
It just came out.
Yeah.
We want to go through any more of this. So you want to talk about the precedent that, well, it's not really precedent. I think this is actually happening more and more with, was it EMI? Or what was that company that's suing that bar for cover bands playing unlicensed
BMI?
music? Yeah, BMI.
I didn't read this one.
They are a copyright company, or they represent, like, they don't really represent the artist because no artist wants their name associated with some sort of lawsuit for somebody playing their music as a cover at a bar. But they basically send in like these little moles to bars and then provide like cease and desists to the bars themselves. And this particular one that they're referring to here just like ignored them because they're like, what the fuck are they gonna do? And apparently they've had track records of actually like suing bars and shutting them down.
Wow, they sound like fun killers.
Is that your input on that?
Yeah, they sound like real pieces of shit. Like, what if it's not even like a band? What if it's fucking Yoki night?
Yeah, what's the precedent for that? Karaoke?
Yeah.
Well, maybe the karaoke machines licensed it.
Good point. So I go up there and we cover Turn the Page, Bob Seger, the Metallica cover version. So we're 3 covers deep now.
Yeah,
we're covering a cover
of a cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're covering a cover. Well, is it covering a cover? How do you know Metallica didn't just cover the original?
It's Bob Seger's song that Metallica covers, and we do it in Metallica style.
Okay, yeah, that's the third one.
Yeah, so we're deep in the cover territory, and BMI comes after us, and they say, "You can't cover that cover of Bob Seger's song. We're taking you down, and we're taking
Lars personally comes."
Yes, and they're coming after us at Aliota's, the stinky bar down the street from me, where all the sewer dregs hang out. Where do we go from here? We say it's a cover song of a cover song.
Well, no, then you got 2. You just say it's a cover song.
Yeah.
So then you can only be liable for 1.
How do cover songs work then? I guess is the real question. Do we have to get approval to do a cover song from Metallica?
That's just like fucking bullshit, dude. Like, you can't go around doing that. Like, I feel like the nail in the way the music industry works right now is like so deep in the coffin right now that they are just trying to extract whatever they can before the model just completely like flips the switch and you don't have fucking artists getting signed to record labels like they exist anymore. Like, that paradigm is so useless now with digital distribution and people being more business savvy that it's basically like, hey, would you like to give us all your money?
Please. Well, what? I guess, how does this relate to our case of Marvin Gaye versus Robin Thicke stealing their style?
I don't think it does.
None?
I don't think it does, and you seem to be on the different, like, another side of the fence than I did.
With Robin Thicke and Marvin Gaye?
Yeah, because I remember you saying you were at some place and you were just like, turn this off because you recognized it as a ripoff of the song, the Marvin Gaye song in question. Mm-hmm. And when I like looked at it, I was like, it's different enough. Like, I don't really feel like it. He probably did not intend that. And like the chorus is different enough that I wouldn't recognize it.
Yeah.
And it's such a basic progression. If the same precedent was held, you would have every 90s pop punk band suing each other.
That would be hilarious, though. Tom DeLonge goes after Lagwagon, and Lagwagon's after the Offspring, and Offspring's suing.
Some punk rock lawsuit love triangle.
Yeah. They get locked up for years in lawsuit battles.
Oh, dude, that would be a fucking great soap opera courtroom drama. The
Law and punk.
Law and punk love triangle.
Dum dum. Tom DeLonge's UFO. Time 7:42 p.m.
Doyle's grandmother zombie rises from the grave. It would be
Dum.
I feel like with it would be like part courtroom drama, part soap opera, part game show.
Glenn Danzig suffering from another amnesia fit.
Glenn Danzig actually thinks he's trapped on Highway 9.
That would be like the end credit scene of like every episode would be Danzig driving on Highway 9 in like a leather jacket, and like the season finale would he'd arrive somewhere and just like one punch somebody.
He's just in his wheelchair and he's got his fucking, or he's in like a hover round, a rascal.
Can we reshoot Bubba Hotep but have it be about a Glenn Danzig character instead of
Glenn Danzig fucking gives up
his fame?
Yeah, like years ago, and
he complains about somebody ruining his career.
And who's going to be his sidekick? Because there was the black guy who thought he was JFK.
Tom DeLonge.
It's just actually Tom DeLonge. That's like two different eras of punk rock, though. I mean, can you even really call Blink-182 punk rock?
I'm sure there are many people that would staunchly say so. A pop punk for sure.
I'm going to get labeled as an elitist.
Pop punk for sure. I mean, I don't know how you
high fives and pizza, guys!
How you can be labeled an elitist when their first album was just pee and poop jokes.
All right. I mean, first album, their like third album was Take Off Your Pants and Jacket.
Yeah.
I remember that joke when the album came out just went so far over my head. And I was like, Daddy.
It's just taking off your pants and your jacket.
Yeah. I was like, Dad, I want this album. It's called Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. And he's like, what? I was like, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. And he's like,
okay, son. Get back in the car.
No, he bought it for me. Like it was innocent enough. I mean, that's what that music is for. It's for 13-year-olds who like to make dick and fart jokes.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's what Transformers, Michael Bay's Transformers movies and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It's explosions and robots.
And he said it best himself. He was like, so what? Make movies for fucking 10-year-olds. What's wrong with that? It's like, it's not supposed to be high art. It's just robots punching shit. Fuck off. Let the fucking 13-year-old have their movie. I do wish they'd stop fucking making those Transformers movies, though. I mean, honestly, would it have been any better if they fucking did it to like the caliber of Christopher Nolan's Batman?
I haven't seen any Transformers movies except the first one with Megan Fox and Shia LaBeouf. And then I also haven't seen any of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. So
I can't fucking think of Shia LaBeouf's last name without thinking of the what boofing is. It's like
I like Shia LaBeouf in Disturbia.
I hated him, and then I liked him, and then I hated him again.
What has he done lately?
A lot of fucking weird social experiment shit.
I get weird social experiments. Like, I'm gonna prank you, and that's not a social experiment. You're just being a douche, or
no, not like that. Like some weird concepts. He did that. He did a couple cool things where he had he rented out a theater, and they played all of his movies chronologically, I think either
I remember that.
front to back or back to front.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
he just like watched it all and like live streamed his face during the entire thing, and people could just like come in and go as they pleased. And he would like fall asleep fucking like watching movies. It was like there for days.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. And they had some like really good memes coming out of it. It was like, I just want to meet a girl that looks at me like Shia LaBeouf looks at himself in
yeah.
the movies. But that whole thing was like kind of cool. But then he had some like just like crazy political shit like lately. He had this thing
Did
where
he make a bomb vest and go somewhere? Here's a social experiment.
he had this thing where he like put up some flag in the woods and he was live streaming it, and I think he was like screaming, "He will not divide us." It was, you know, noble, whatever. But the way you're kind of going about it is a little douchey. And basically the 4chan detective army, forensic files, came out of the woodwork, and they were able to like look at the live feed and notice,
Determine where he was?
Yeah, determine where he was
he?
based on the fucking
Canada?
They were based on the fucking airplane patterns in the background.
Yeah,
It's-
where was he?
I don't know.
Canada? Not even in the U.S.?
I don't know. But they were able to find where he was and then go and like take his flag down and replace it with something else and basically troll the fuck out of him.
Where is Shia LaBeouf?
You know, 4chan is equally parts pathetic and impressive sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They have all these impressive skills, but they use them for
Fucking
memeing.
Yeah. And not even that, like a lot of people are just like, you know, just neckbeards on there. Like the anonymous aspect of it and the way it makes people behave is just disgusting sometimes. But sometimes it's fucking crazy what they can do. But it almost always just seems a little dirty.
You know,
I'm starting to feel like I should go wash my hands just
talking about it.
Yeah.
Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf, he will not divide us.
I don't know. I think this one might have been a separate incident.
I don't know. Shia LaBeouf just looks like a indie car rail hopper. Oh, Shia.
Is that Matt Damon?
I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, and I forgot. Who could forget the whole "do it" thing? That was kind of
yeah,
fun.
that was fun. Who could forget that mullet?
All right, we're just reaching for shit with Shia LaBeouf here. It's time to call it a day. Unless you got something else you want to say.
He will not divide us!
Get your cat spayed or neutered. All right, see you next week.